welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. Today's preview is Western Province versus the Griquas tomorrow. So whilst we have a lot of uncertainty over what's going to happen with the British and Irish Lions game this weekend against the Bulls, as well as the South Africa versus Georgia game on Friday, still no confirmation about what the situation is with either of those out of the Medical Advisory Committee of the Castle British and Irish Lions series. But meantime, the Currie Cup will forge on, and tomorrow the Griquas make the trip down to Cape Town to play at the Cape Town Stadium against the Western Province, who welcome back a number of key players. Somebody who will not be back, however, is Salman Murat, who underwent surgery to fix a neck injury over the weekend, is now said to be out for around 3 months. So, will only be sort of making his comeback during the United Rugby Championship towards the latter stages of the year. But before we look at the teams today and some of the interesting players who are back in, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on. We're going to be live tonight. I'm doing a fan forum with Lacanio about the Sharks versus the British and Irish Lions tomorrow. We'll also be live tomorrow for Australia versus France as a bit of a taster before we are live tomorrow night for Sharks versus British and Irish Lions. No issues at this stage with that game at all, which is expected to go ahead as expected. In terms of tomorrow, a couple of big players back for the Western Province. The likes of Hannah Klaba, JD Schikkeling on the bench. As well as a chance for young Sazi Sandi. So if you look at the side for tomorrow, this is how the Western Province will line up. No Neatly Bashir tomorrow. Apparently a bit of a personal family issue. He's currently in Rustenburg with his family. He is expected to be back next week and is expected to be fit and firing for the British and Irish Lions. So which means the front row will be Ali Famak. JJ Kotze back from injury, comes straight back into the starting lineup. He scored 4 tries in the first Currie Cup match, and we'll be hoping to try and add to that. And Sazi Sandi, a very exciting youngster, former SN 20 player, gets a chance in the front row tomorrow. The 2 locks tomorrow will be Ernst Moraine, who will obviously captain the side, as well as David Mayhazen. And then the loose trio, Namaklaba, goes straight back into the starting lineup. He is not expected to play a full 80 minutes, according to John Dobson. They're trying to ease him back and get things back. But I think we all understand that he's a very exciting player. He's very highly rated by John Dobson. Was tremendous in that Currie Cup opening, the Rainbow Cup opening weekend against the Sharks. Very good on the ground, very, very competitive player. And I think somebody, if he can just sort of go on a bit of an extended run without injuries, probably goes into that sort of mold or the fold of those really exciting loose forwards that we currently have in the country. Johan de Tooy and Evan Ruiz will complete the rest of the loose trio. Johan de Tooy is a very good tackler, and Evan Ruiz is a very, very good ball carrier. Scored a sensational try a week ago against the Sharks. Godlin Masimla gets a chance tomorrow to start at scrum half. A bit of a rotation policy. They're trying to work out how best to rest their players. After this, they will go into isolation next week, Monday, into a bye bubble ahead of their British and Irish Lions game on the Saturday. And after that, they then have Cheetahs and then the Pumas in the next sort of 7 days after British House Lions. So a lot of rotation is necessary, which is why Godlin Masimla gets a run tomorrow. Tim Sewell continues to fly half. The 2 weeks tomorrow, Edwin van der Merwe and Sia Bellisonata, so plenty of pace and creativity over there. The centre pairing of Dan du Plessis and Ricky Pretorius returns after Dan du Plessis had to sit out last week through injury. Sergio Peterson will continue at fullback. Warwick Galant apparently still doing quite well with injury. They're still unsure if he'll be able to face the British and Irish Lions. And then on the bench, the expected bench is Reinout Venter, Leon Lyons, Lee Marvin Mazabuko, JD Schikkeling, Neil Otto, Marcel Tedderson, Paul de Vet, and Abner van Reerden. Jean de Jong has also been named in the bench, as well as Andre Hugo Venter. A very exciting hookup and part of the extended sort of bench. But this is what we're sort of expecting to see tomorrow. If that does change, obviously, then that's why. But John Dobson was asked whether that John de Jong will feature tomorrow and said that it's very unlikely he will play. At this stage, having to probably go with a 6-2 split, and they need to have a fly half cover, which is why Abner van Reerden is currently going to be wearing the number 23 jersey tomorrow. It's a very, very good Western Province side. Very good to have Jay Schikkeling back. Very good to have Noah Klaba back. Very good to have Dan du Plessis back. And I think that I'm quite excited to see what Sazi Sandi does with some extended time. He hasn't had a lot of game time over the last sort of year. So he'll have his first start tomorrow against the Griquas. For the Griquas tomorrow, this is how they will line up. Mox and Coley is back in the front row, and Janko Ace and Jana Burta is the front row there. And then Zolin Zito and Cameron Lindsay will provide a little bit of bulk in and behind them. It's a pretty decent and pretty settled tight 5 from the Griquas, and I thought that they've generally been getting a lot better the more they've played. They really did push the Pumas. They've obviously really got a bonus point victory against the Cheetahs this tournament. The loose trio is probably their sort of secret weapon. Gideon van der Merwe, Hanu Sergel, and Ruan Steenkamp. Ruan Steenkamp with Gideon van der Merwe was identified as John Dobson as 2 players they have to watch because they are very, very good over the ball, and the breakdowns are going to be a very important place for to watch tomorrow. And then the halfback combination of Stefan Ungara and George Whitehead will continue. The 2 wins, and Edwin Cater and Daniel Cassenda provide a lot of pace, very good finishing. Edwin Cater, particular, watch out for him. He's a devastating finisher. And the centre pairing of Jonathan Frankie and JC Nell, who's really settled into the Griquas very, very well. Looks very exciting whenever he gets the ball. He's already got a try under his name. Ashton Davis will start at fullback. No Masibanda. today this week. And then off the bench, we've got AJ Lewis, Andrew Bierfilkel, Andrew Skitter, Jean de Lombard, Siva Balakoma, Regan Oranje, Tennis Devian, Edivisa Arensa, Batida Fisser, Liolo Dapulo, and Christopher Hollis could also come into that 23. A lot of these sort of squads, especially when they're traveling, often name a much extended bench and then sort of decide on the day, which allows for any potential COVID tests, for any last minute injuries or anything like that. But generally, you know, that they are starting to at least now name sort of what is expected to be their bench. So that's why with the Western Province, you can sort of understand that 8 players is probably what we're expecting to see tomorrow. They could obviously still be changed. In terms of this Griquas side, I think that they're looking quite good. I think that they are benefiting from playing a lot of rugby, and it's, you know, they're starting to click now. It took a while for them to get going, as you would imagine, because they just didn't play enough rugby last year, but they really are starting to sort of gel together, and I think that pack is becoming better and better. They've got a couple of exciting players in their backline. You know, if they can give someone like Edwin Cater, you can give Daniel Cassenda space. JC Nels also added a nice sort of dimension to that. It's a very, very disciplined Griquas side, and I think that I'm hoping that they can really sort of push the Western Province tomorrow and make for a very good game, because we've seen some very good rugby so far in the Currie Cup. It's been a very watchable tournament, and hopefully the standard and what we're seeing continues for a while, because it's been really nice to actually be able to get into the Currie Cup and understand that this could go anywhere. You know, the Pumas are currently sitting in playoff position. They could be sitting in a semi-final position. Can they keep it up? You know, will they fall away? What will happen? This is what we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what your score predictions are. I'm going to go Western Province by 10. I think the Griquas will be able to push them a little bit. Obviously, it's a lot easier for the Western Province being at home rather than having to travel up to Tafelog Park in Kimberley, which is always a very difficult place to go and play rugby. But let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Smash like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys soon.